Hello, everybody. It is Badger Wild, and we are back once again with a brand new video on Monday. I am very sorry for no video Friday and the confusing messaging. My allergies hit me, stole my voice, busted my eardrums out, gave me a splitting headache. All that aside, Sunday and some antihistamines, I am feeling much better now. Something that comes out during the springtime where I'm at just completely destroys my allergies. Anyway, I may have been down, but I have not been out. Today I have a new something or other that I have come up with. This fighter is not what I have come up with. What I've come up with is the gun systems on it. And you'll notice the gun systems look rather interesting. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these things. So this is at night, so you can see the guns operating, but right down here, if you look, you can see that I've got a couple things on. Now, I did this with autocannons, and it worked fairly good, but it worked even better with miniguns. I think the autocannons would work better if I was in weapon core, because I can actually control how the autocannons fire, because in this particular mode, in vanilla, the autocannons fire all at once, and I haven't figured out a way without a bunch of weird timer blocks to fire them without, without weapon core. Well, what we've got going on here is a hinge back here, a weapon system, and one of the new cameras. This has been amazing, because when I did this, I did it with a block, and then I realized, oh wait, no, I have a top-mounted camera. I could just slap to the side of this thing and be done with it. What are these? Well, these are semi-gimbaled weapon systems on each wing. And yes, they do like what you think. Think Star Citizen with gimbaled systems on only 2 platforms. This is an experiment that I've been working on to create a better interceptor. And I am probably going to work this in with the up and down plane. Basically, when these are set in, I'll show you how this works on the inside. Because what this does internally is just amazing. Where's my hinge at? Hinge, 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 hinge. So, this is the interior hinge, and you'll notice our lower limit is 0. This is to the outside of the wing, so it doesn't span out and shoot in this odd direction. And then our upper limit is to about 20, so it has a very minimal turn rate. So we're not having to worry about our guns being outside. We're not having to worry about our guns accidentally hitting something by turning and striking. The limits have been limited enough to where it's not going to affect it too badly. Now, how am I doing this? Well, with one of the controller blocks, we have our hinge that we're operating on as our azimuth movement. Yes, you can use hinges for azimuth. And then instead of a gun, we just simply set a top-mounted camera to be the control stick. Then by doing this, I simply take the weapon that I have here, and I don't add it to this, and then turn on Enable AI. And what this does, and then how I set this up is actually pretty cool. So, hopping in here, let me show you how I do this, and how any of y'all can do this if you don't know how. Simply go to Block Weapons, and set up your gun. Double click on that. Can be right or left click, I believe. Let me test out the left click. Yeah, left click does the same thing. And then you have access to your guns. Now, the reason I'm not doing this with the autocannons is because the autocannons kind of fire. You can see these are kind of turned in and they're kind of crisscrossing a bit. So the machine guns are actually way more effective at doing this. So without further ado, let's go see how effective this is. And it's pretty effective, let me tell you. Oh, I need that up. I guess I'm gonna need that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fly over here and we're gonna piss off one of the fleeting rivals. We can get him to come to us. So I had a small problem. The game crashed. But we're back again. Fortunately, I had this blueprint saved so you guys can enjoy it. So as you can see here, we've got a fleeting rival coming in. We're going to lock on to said fleeting rival. We're going to also fall back a little bit before he can really get to us, because we have a faster acceleration rate. Get him away from the base so we don't get shot up by the pirate base. and then turn around and meet him. Now, what's happening here is the turret's control blocks at a certain range are going to enable me to lock onto this target and hit him, my pilot skills notwithstanding. So now anything that hits is going to be a massive impact of ammo and weapons and whatnot. You can see just how effective that is. Now the turrets engage at a certain range, so they're not going. This makes a much shorter range, but you can see already he's going down. He is done. That one straight pass with all these guns. This is about 6 miniguns spaced out over the wingspan of the aircraft. Going in there, and just that one strafing pass hit struck him with so much ammunition, it literally tore apart something. Something vital was taken out, and he just fell like a rock. This is a semi-gimbaled system. I plan on making a more dedicated weapon platform to this, using a couple of design ideas. But yeah, so basically this is just the turret controller on a singular plane. I do want to do a turret controller where I have limited the movement of about 4 separate guns. So aiming is not necessary, but getting within just about that area and then letting the turrets do the work. Because the one big problem is trying to run this thing to the planar limit with it limited on one horizontal plane and not giving it a vertical plane. Like I said, this was just a test of it. So basically you could make a functional A-wing, a functional ARC 170, or a functional X-wing, or a functional, what is the really cool one? Or you can make a functional, come on, what is it? TIE Defender, for instance, or a TIE Interceptor. You could actually load up a series of guns on it so it actually hits harder when it goes into combat and battle. And this works pretty much most of the time. I think if I multi-gimbaled this and turned them into basic semi-turrets, or just gimbaled them to where they had the horizontal and everything else, but that would require a complete redesign of how this would work. I'd probably mount them to the wingtips, the 4 Gatling guns, and then I would take the 2 out of the center because there's no point in using them, or mount a chin turret to the front with the 2 that has the same gimbaling as the others. The reason why I'm limiting the gimbaling and the movement of this is because if it wasn't limited, these guns would turn in and then start shooting systems off the plane or something. So I have to consider that. But with this, you could now turn gun pods into weapon hardpoints, basically, like in Star Citizen, and lay into someone with an ungodly amount of firepower. You can see here it's kind of turning in different directions. I don't know how to reset that. I've been trying to find a way to do that with the turret control block, and it hasn't been working. Some people said that there is a script for it, but I kind of want to stay away from that. Keen, maybe something in the future, you know, reset turret back to original design or something would be something nice to have in there. But anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you guys found a really cool use for this, and I can't wait to see you guys start putting this, implementing it into your next fighter or interceptor. I am going to be building something interesting and custom to bring in here that's wildly complicated and not easy to just simply reproduce, and give y'all something really cool to take a look at and play with. By the way, folks, I am Badger Wild, saying stay safe, stay frosty, gimbal those guns up, boys, and I'll see you in the black.